meaning that you know everyone that is here this morning and what we all need. You are omnipotent, all powerful, and your word has the ability to move, to change hearts and minds, to deliver and make free. Thank you for being omnipresent, meaning that you are everywhere at the same time. So as you're with the person on the first row, you're also with the one on the very last row, knowing exactly what to do in this service for the people of God. And I thank you for nothing short of that. In Jesus' name, amen. Come on, give the praise team a praise. Speaking of the praise team, they ministered on last night. I don't even know the name of the church. Life Church, Life or Light. Life Church, and they will be ministering today right around the corner here at New Hope. So those that can and will go and support them. New Hope is right. You turn here, it's the next street over. So they'll be there at 3 o'clock. So give the Lord a praise for them. I want to thank all of you for Founders Day. All day Founders Day was an absolute enjoyable experience, and I thank God for this year, which actually stems from last year. We did not have to. Y'all notice I didn't meet with y'all leaders on y'all gift. Not have to meet not one time because of the faithfulness of the people just sowing and giving. So give yourselves a hand. And to those of you darlings who may have prayed, sent a text, a shout out, gave me a gift for my birthday, whatever you did, called, tried to sing it to me, whatever you did, I appreciate you and thank you so much. I had a wonderful time and I appreciate all of you. Be seated, be seated. For those of you who want to file your tax, you can actually give your W-2s today and leave them. If you're going to file taxes with Kingdom Tax, you can give them today. You can leave them or you can drop them off. You can even drop them off at my boutique and actually leave them if you like to. We're going to all prepare all the taxes at one time and then have everybody come and sign them all at one time. And so if you're going to file taxes and you have your W-2s or your 1099s on you today, you can actually turn them in today. Or you can bring them by the boutique, or you can bring them by here to Apostle Richardson, and we'll just have them already prepared for you. And all you have to do is just come back in and sign. Amen. Tell somebody Kingdom Tax. Let me see another reminder. I've already said the praise team. Okay, let me tell you all this because some of you have asked, and I know you're not going to do it, but it is imperative that you do if you ever fall or if you hurt yourself or injure yourself. I actually fell in the boutique and actually this finger here turned actually this way and it was dangling over. When I fell and looked at my hand and saw the finger, I immediately snapped it back and popped it. And when I got to the doctor and he said if I had have left it, it would have completely broken. And if I would have got in the car and just tried to make it to them, then it would have broken. I actually prevented it from the bone from actually cracking. But I know you ain't gonna do that. But it is good when you break something, spring something, if it's your foot, to automatically jerk it back in place to where you're in la la land in your mind. You're already in shock. You don't feel it then. The pain only comes afterwards. While it happens, it's the time to just pop it back in place. Look at your neighbor and say, that was just from a sister to the sheep. Amen. But it is doing good. It's just really, really swollen and really inflamed. I talked to Apostle Richardson on Tuesday night, and I told him what the subject the Lord had given me for Sunday way on Tuesday. And he said, I'm not going to say a word. And I said, okay. My subject is trusting God in a dead situation. I wasn't here Tuesday, so I believe it's going to tie in for him to have said that. And so trusting God in a dead situation, trusting God again in a dead situation. I want to first start out by thanking all visitors for being here. Can you give them a praise for me? If you're a first time or returning visitor, thank you so much. Thank God for our leader, Apostle Richardson. Amen. And our visionary. So trusting God in a dead situation. Let me define dead for you, because you can be alive and still dead. You didn't catch it. You can actually be alive on earth, but still have a dead situation. Let me put it that way. Dead means having ceased to live, which is why we put D in front of ceased. Deceased. Having ceased to live, not having the ability. That's where the term deceased comes from. Having ceased to live, lifeless, extinct. You know, you go to museums and you actually see dinosaur bones or the remains of a dinosaur, but they are actually extinct. No longer in force. Another definition, no longer productive. I was like, wow. If an individual is no longer productive, it's classified as being dead. No longer productive, lacking sensation. That's where Abraham and Sarah come in at. Lacking sensation, or just numb. You know, have you ever heard anybody say, they didn't even cry at a funeral? And they say, I was just numb. That means lifeless. They felt absolutely nothing at that moment. So again, it's having ceased to live, deceased, lifeless, extinct, no longer in force. That means no longer moving. You can be in ministry, but not moving, not knowing you dead. Ooh, say it again, Pastor. You can be in ministry, no longer moving. Coming to church, but no longer moving. And it's still classified as being dead. No longer productive, lacking sensation, or numb. The most common is what people say when somebody's dead. The most common is to say they're no longer alive. This can be physical or this can be spiritual. To no longer be alive can be spiritual or physically dead. So pinch yourself. We already know we are physically alive. But how many of you just felt when you pinch yourself, the power of God go up you? So are you spiritually dead? No longer in force or productive could mean no longer bringing forth fruit. It's why in the grocery store, the fruit section is called produce. Because you're supposed to be productive. Being fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth was the first commandment given to who? To Adam. Fruit in a grocery store is called produce because you are supposed to be fruitful and produce. If you're not producing, then you're still classified as being dead. Ooh, dead situations are those where you feel like you prayed so many times concerning it, but you still have no change. Dead situations are those where you feel it's a waste of time to keep even bothering with the situation or with the person, with the individual, or with their circumstance. It's where you say, I'm just through with it. I've exhausted all of my energy on it and I'm done. A dead situation is when you feel you're on top of it, but then it resurfaces. This time when it resurfaces, much worse. Found yourself yet? Let's just go and see. Let's go to John 11. A dead situation also could mean when you can't talk to nobody about it. You say they won't get it anyway. Ain't no sense in bringing it up. But they don't understand. So it's best to just keep it to myself. It's actually the worst thing you can do is keep it to yourself. The first person you ought to be releasing it to is your Father. Cast all your cares upon me because I what? Care for you. The very first thing you're supposed to do is throw it on him. I can't handle it, Jesus. It's too big. It's too much. It's overwhelming. It's overpowerful. and I can't do anything about it. Dead situation. First throw it on. Then when you throw it on to the Father normally directs you in what to do. If he don't direct you to go to somebody and actually help to aid and touching and agreeing or to get a prayer partner on it, then that means he's already worked it out for you. Some situation you can't even get through by yourself, even when God gives you the directions, because you don't know how to carry them out. That's called wisdom. He gives you the knowledge, the know-how of how to do it. He'll speak to you and say, do this, this, and that. But then you say, Lord, I don't know how. That's when he sends another individual that has the wisdom to show you how to apply it. But most people reject the wisdom and stay in the dead situation. Oh, I'm already preaching. John 11, let's go there. I'm going to camp out right there. John 11, you already know it. It's the story of Lazarus. Lazarus' name alone means God is my help. Dead situation. Listen what his name means. God is my help. Not my neighbor, my sibling, my best friend, my spouse, my children. God himself is going to help me out of this. He delivers me out of all my troubles. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want any good thing. God is my helper. So 11:1, you there? 11:1 says, now a certain man was sick named Lazarus of Bethany. If you got a dead situation, put your name there, of Meridian, of Mississippi, wherever you from. The town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that same Mary that anointed Jesus and, and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick, took the precious ointment, they said, that was priceless, and wiped Jesus' feet with it and then dried it off with her hair. That's the same Mary and Martha whose brother now, Lazarus, is sick. Verse 3, therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. So first of all, let's understand that up front, this is not an enemy of Jesus. You're going to, when the sisters get to talking about Jesus and wonder why he didn't come, it's not because he don't like Lazarus. He loves Lazarus. But why would somebody that loved him not come rescue him? Ain't that what you done said before? How is it that my loved one know I'm like this and they won't come help me? They know I need financial situation and help. Why they won't come help me? They got good jobs. What's wrong? Why won't they come? Because it ain't got nothing to do with them. God is my help. You're putting your trust in the wrong people. Oh, you didn't catch it. Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom you loveth is sick. When Jesus heard that, he said, understand verse number 4 is purpose. This is the whole purpose of this whole passage. Every situation, every dead situation has a purpose. Know that anything you're in right now, anything you're going through, anything that look lifeless has a purpose. So the purpose of Lazarus is this. When Jesus heard that, he said, this sickness or illness is not unto death, but it's for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. That's the purpose. You're saying, now, Lord, I know you ain't about to use this. Now, I've been going through this for too long, too many years. You talking about this for your glory. I wish you hurry up and show up. Now, as long as you've been seeing me going through this, I went through when I was a child, went through when I was a teenager, went through when I was a young adult. Now I'm going through, now I'm fully grown, and this for your glory? Surely not. The whole purpose is for the glory of God, the Son of God might be glorified. If you ever catch the purpose, you can go all the way through it. Verse number 5, now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. You see that? So it's not an enemy. He loved them. When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where it was. So when he called out They told him that Lazarus was sick. Jesus stayed right there for 2 whole days. You would have said, Jesus rejected me. I mean, you done prayed and said, I don't hear nothing. It ain't been 2 days, it been 2 weeks. It been 2 months and you still ain't talking. Could he be working behind the scenes? Could it be trying to see if you're going to give up? Could it be trying to see if you're going to just throw in the towel and say, Lord, you ain't who you say you are. You said, have I not spoken it? Will I not make it good? Shall I not do it? Shall I not bring it to pass? Well, you haven't brought it to pass yet. He trying to see what is your speech going to change. Oh my God, look what he said. So he stayed there for 2 more days. Then after that, he said to the disciples, let us go into Judea again. His disciples said unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone you, and you still want to go there again? He said, are there not 12 hours in daylight? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he sees the light of this world. But if any man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. Why did Jesus throw that in there? He's talking about now there's 12 hours in day and there's 12 hours in night. All Jesus is saying here is make the best of every opportunity. That's all that point is right there. Make the best of every opportunity. It's 12 hours in the day. And what I need to do it while it's daylight. Then he throws a curveball. Whenever you're in the light, make the best of every opportunity, because when you get in darkness, you no longer have light with you. I'm not talking about darkness 24 hours a day. I'm talking about when your situation is in darkness, when you're in the darkness, you no longer have the light. When you move from being in the light, from being in the day, you no longer have Jesus with you. So it's best to make the best of every opportunity while you have Christ with you. Because when you move over and start doing something that you ain't supposed to do, then no longer the Jesus with you. So he just threw that in there to let you know that I am the light. Stay with me. He threw it and made it look like he was talking about 24 hours in the daylight, but he's talking about himself. I am the light. You'll see it in a few minutes. But there is no light in him. These things he said, and after that he said, our friend Lazarus, he just sleep. But now I go, and I'm going to wake him up. The disciples weren't too smart. Then said he unto the disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well if he just sleep. Howbeit Jesus spoke up and spake of his death, that they thought that he had spoken of him just taking a nap. That means taking a rest in sleep. Then Jesus said plain that Lazarus is dead. Sleep here means I allowed it to happen. I see more than you caught. I waited on purpose. I allowed it to look hopeless and helpless. I allowed it to die. Lazarus is dead. You understand that? This situation you're in is dead. You can't do nothing about it. Stop talking about it. Stop praying about it. It's dead. I'm going somewhere. And I am glad for your sake that I wasn't even there. Every time you cried out to me, I didn't even come, and I'm glad I didn't come. You gonna see it? What kind of compassionate, loving God would say he glad that he didn't come when I called on him? What kind of God know that I'm suffering? We don't have nothing over here to eat. I can't pay my bills. I'm mentally deranged. I can't sleep at night. I don't have gas for my car. My children don't have no clothes. What's going on? Why would he say he glad he didn't come when I called him? And I am glad for your sake that I wasn't there, to the intent that you may what? Believe me. Nevertheless, disciples, let's go to him. Let's go to the situation now. Because see, if Jesus could have healed Lazarus' sickness, he could have even prevented the illness. He's Christ. But then he would have got in the way of the miracle. See, if he had just been dead one day, they would have not even considered it as a miracle. I was told by this man that works in a funeral home. I didn't see it, and I think I told y'all that this man died in Jackson. They took him to the morgue, and when the man came in at them bombing, they heard him moaning. He wasn't even completely dead. So just a few hours, you would have thought, hey, I can call on him anytime I call on God, he come. The next day, oh yeah, Jesus was just trying to see if I had a little faith in him. But when you wait 4 days, your bills were due in the car, they were going to come get the car yesterday, and 4 days unpassed. The eviction notice on the door, 4 days unpassed. You don't went to the doctor, and the situation is persisting. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Look like you done prayed and prayed and prayed, and everything is getting worse. That's 4 days. Tell somebody that's 4 days. But I did it so that you could believe. Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus. Didymus just means twin. I mean, Thomas had two personalities. Unto his fellow disciples, let us also go that we may die with him. What kind of crazy mess is that? You talking about misery love company. If you got a friend that tell you, baby, I'm in the same boat you in, they saying to you, I'm going to die with you. You don't need that friend. You need to go hook up with somebody that got some power and got some words to encourage you. But somebody said, good child, yeah, I'm broke too. I can't help you. You don't need that kind of friend. So look what it says. When Jesus came and found him, he had lain in the grave for 4 days already. Now, Bethlehem was nigh to Jerusalem with its 15 furlongs off. That just means a couple miles. 15 furlongs naturally in today is a couple of miles. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard was coming, went and met him. But Mary was still in the house. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou had been here, my brother had not died. Ain't that like her? Lord, if you been here, if you just gave me the money, showed me means how to get it, I wouldn't have lost this house. I wouldn't have lost the car. I wouldn't have lost this. I wouldn't have went through this. Why you didn't come? What's wrong? Am I not praising you enough? Am I not fasting? Am I not prayed enough? What's wrong? Why you didn't come? Why you ignored me, Jesus? Anybody ever been there? Being honest, yeah. He said, our brother would not have died, but I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, even nevertheless, I know you still will do it. She had enough sense to say that. I know that you still will do it. Give it to thee. Jesus said unto her, thy brother shall rise. Verse number 4. This sickness is not unto death. If they had understood verse number 4, then little smart mouth over here wouldn't have said, if you had come, my brother wouldn't have died. She'd already been understanding what you're going through. I allowed it to happen. I'm talking to you now, not Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. If you had understood verse number 4 was purpose, you wouldn't be asking God all these dumb questions. When you coming? Why you hadn't showed up yet? When is it going to be my time, my turn? My expected end ain't coming. When I'm stepping into my destiny, just close your mouth. It ain't unto death. I allowed it to happen. So then he says, Mother said unto him, I know that he going to rise in the resurrection. All of us going to get up then. In that great day. He's talking about, what kind of crazy mess you talking about? Girl, I am the resurrection. You looking at the resurrection. I'm talking about if you believe on me today, I can get you up out of this dead situation. I am the resurrection and I am life. If I speak me into this situation that's dead, it'll come to life. All you need, what he's saying, all you need is me. You done moved away from me. The reason your situation is not changed because you done moved away from life. I am the resurrection and the life. He, that key word here. If you had believed verse number 4, this sickness is not unto death, but the glory of God, that the Son might therefore be glorified. If you had believed on verse number 4, here he reiterates. And if you had believed in me, though he were dead, you know he's still going to live. So do you have the ability to say to God today, after what I read opening, I understand that I'm tired of this situation, but I believe today that you can resurrect it. The whole key to the passage is believing that Jesus is the one that can do it. Not you. that Jesus is the one that can do it. And whosoever liveth, believeth in me shall never die. Believeth. Look, then he asked the question again. Do you believe this? Because he knew doubt was going to get in there. He said, believe without this. It's just like Jesus coming down and say, I'm going to change that situation for you. I know what you're going through. Do you believe it? You believe it now? He just said, I'm going to change it. That should have been enough to believe because Jesus spoke it. But then because he know we're human and he know the doubt creeps in, he said, but do you really believe me? So God allow you to go through something and you say, yes, Lord, I believe you. I can trust you through the whole thing. Do you really believe me? You just saying that with your mouth. When I put you in that hot water, you're going to be ouch and itch and trying to get out of it. Y'all remember a little statement used to say that, I think it used to say a woman ain't something till you put it in hot water. What was the statement? She turned something when you put it in hot water, coffee. I can't remember what it is, but her best comes up out of her when you put it in hot water is what the statement was. That's what it actually meant. So if God put you actually in hot water and left you there for 4 days, would you believe him? If he came and said, this is not unto death, I'm going to cause you to be better off when you go through this. People going to see the glory inside of your life. They're going to realize that I did it, that you didn't help me out. I'm doing this for you. But more importantly, I'm doing it to get some glory. Would you trust me through this? Can you trust me? How long you been in it? I don't care. Can you trust me all the way through it? Can you really trust me? Then he reiterates it. Will you really trust me? You know, we say, yes, Lord, hallelujah. Oh, God, get your glory. Yeah. Do you really trust me? Because see, that first initial response ain't nothing but what I did with my finger reflex. That's all it is. That's just, if I say, praise the Lord, everybody, you go, hallelujah, hallelujah. Mm-mm. Then after 4 minutes, 4 days, after 4 minutes, the praise, hallelujah. Look around then you got too tired. But what if he said, praise me for 4 minutes straight and you're going to see my glory? Could you actually withhold 4 minutes of praise? Even if you get tired, if it ain't nothing but to throw your hands up, you ain't got no more energy to say, no, could you still pray me before me? 30 more seconds, 20, 10, or would you just get tired of, I'm sick of singing. I'm sick of clapping my hands. That's how we do God. That's how I'm allowing this to happen. Because see, my best gonna come up out of you when you realize that I can get you out. I'm gonna leave you in there long enough to trust me and not depend on nobody else. I don't want you to call nobody else. I don't want you asking nobody else. I'm gonna leave you in that situation until you believe me. And then you say, yes, Lord, I believe you on day 1. The fast get tough on day 2. Day 3, you exhausted. Day 4, you can't take it. You got to get you something to eat and drink. But he said, I allowed this to happen. So then we get down here to verse number 27. It says, she said unto him, Lord, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which should come in the world. And when she had so said, she went her way and called Mary, her sister, secretly saying, the master is come, he calling for you too. As soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and came unto him. Now Jesus was not yet coming to the town, but was in a place where Martha had met him at. She went out to meet him. The Jews then, which were with her in the house, comforted her. Then they saw Mary and they said, rose up hastily and followed her, saying, she go into the grave now to weep there. Then when Mary was come where Jesus was and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother had not died. What's going on? I thought you loved us. That what you saying, Jesus? I thought you really loved me. This pressure too much for me. When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, came unto her, groaning, and the spirit was troubled. And there, where have you laid him? He said. Then he said unto him, Lord, come and you'll see. Jesus wept. Why did Jesus weep? Number 1, Jesus is not just divinity. He's also humanity. Because he loved them so, the natural human nature of him cried too. But not crying because he thought he couldn't do it. Crying out of compassion for Mary and Martha. So then he says, the Jews, behold, how is it he loved him? That letting you know how much he loved them. He had so much compassion. The next one, and some of them said, could not this man, this same Lord, the powerful Jesus Christ, he opened the blind eyes, caused even them, this man to get up. He said, this is a man that we saw do all these miracles. He opened blinded eyes, and he can't call Lazarus to get up from the grave. All they're doing now is making a mockery of it. You see how God allowed it to keep on being prolonged? Keep on, where your situation getting worse and worse and worse. Now people talking about you. I thought you was a church girl. I thought you was a Christian. I thought, why would God allow you and your children to not have no food to eat? What's going on? Why would God allow them to take your car? First of all, God does not. God does not. And why did God allow that to happen? What's going on? So here, they done made mockery of him. I thought it was your God. I thought he loved you. Then look what it says here. What verse we at? Oh, 38. Jesus therefore again groaning in himself coming to the grave. It was a cave and a stone laid up against it. And Jesus said, take it away. Take the stone away. Martha, her sister, was sister of him that was dead, said unto the Lord, by this time he's stinking. But he had been dead for 4 days. So now your situation you're in stinks. This is a stinking situation. You ever said that, Lord? This is a messed up, this is a mess. This is a mess. I don't even want to put my hands in it. This is such a mess. That's the whole point. By this time, he's saying this mess stinks. It done got to the point now till it's rotten and it corroded. You can't even resurrect it. Because it done got what? It done got decapitated. It done got to the point till it done decayed. That's the word I'm looking for. It decayed, it's stinking. So the mess you in, God allowed it to stink. He allowed you to get this far on the job. You thought there was a promotion and a raise, but every time you hate Mondays. You hate going this situation. This mess stink on this job. I'm ready to get up out of here. So he allowed it to get to the point to where it's stinking. Jesus said unto her, I said I not unto thee that if you would what? Believe that thou would see the glory of God. His whole point here in the whole thing is to get his relationship back with you. You don't even realize that this situation is causing you to pray more than you ever prayed in your life. This situation is calling you to cry more than you ever cried. Because see, when you all have everything all happy and everything looks good and you ain't praying. But now when you get in some stinking situations, oh, you're going to cry to God like never before. You'll push your plate back like never before. You ain't got no other choice now but to call on God because you don't call on everybody else and they didn't come through for you. So now you ain't got nobody but to call on God. So what is he doing? He's trying to build his relationship back with you. He's trying to get us back to where we used to be. We were close. We were like this. We had it going on. Every week, I could count on you to pray to me. Every night, every morning, I could count on you to get some praise. The praise team, we have to sing. You was the on-fire thing up in here. You came in here with a praise. I'm causing it to get down to nothing, to be decayed, because I'm trying to get my praise back out of you. I'm trying to get you back to talking to me. See, you had your confidence in man, but now I'm trying to get your confidence back in me. And the only way I can do that is allowed to get stinky. Allowed to die. Allowed to look helpless, hopeless, to where now you ain't got nobody else to call on but me. So he said, I already told you, if you just believe, look, said I not unto thee that thou would believe that thou should see the glory of God. I'm about to show you something. Look at verse 41. Then they took away the stone from the place where he was dead and lay. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. Now, this is Jesus now talking to his Father, because his Father is the one that's going to allow it to happen. I thank you, Lord, my Father, that you heard me. And I knew that thou hearest me. How often? Not just sometime in this situation. I know you hear me all the time. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. So he really didn't even have to open his mouth and say nothing. He already knew that his Father heard him, but because of the unbelievers, He verbally spoke it out. Lord, I thank you for you heard me. Look what he said. I thank you, you heard me, that thou hast heard me. I know you hear me all the time. And I ain't saying it because we already got a relationship. I'm saying this so that people can know I'm talking to you. And this miracle is coming not from me, but it's coming from you. I'm getting my assignment from you. So then he says, when I heard this was thus spoken, he cried with a loud voice. Put your name there. He said, Lazarus, come forth. Now, after 4 days, Lazarus done been there. He didn't come forth until God said, come forth. It made no difference that Mary and Martha were crying. It made no difference that people were mocking him and saying, ain't this the same man that healed the blind that eye? Can he not do it? Jesus ain't coming forth because you want to show it out to people. Jesus only coming forth when it's your time. He allowed it to happen for 4 days to stay there. So is it that Christ has allowed you to stay in this situation to get y'all back together? Till you can get back to believing in him. When you first fell in love with him, you trusted him for everything. But now you doubt almost everything he say. So because of that, he's allowing you to stay there until you get back and say, God, I believe. Help mine unbelief, but I believe you. So he said, Lazarus, come forth. After this, he said, and he was dead, came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound with the napkin. Jesus said unto him, loose him and let him go. The only person, is that not in red in your book? The only person had the ability to tell you to get up and say, loose him and let him go is Jesus. So it makes no difference what you're saying to people, how you crying, how you calling out. The only person that has the ability to resurrect you out of your dead situation is Jesus Christ. So why not get close to the one that has the ability to get you up out of it? He already said it was not unto death. I'm causing this so that I can get some glory. So then he says, loose him and let him go. The last verse, then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen these things with Jesus believed in what? So the whole thing was, number 1, verse number 4, to get some glory. This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be what? Glorified, and whosoever believed. Then he said, all of the Jews that seen this believe him. It was an outward showing. God is allowing you to go through this so people can know he's the only one that did it. You crying and asking him to come through now when you don't realize he got an audience. He building an audience. People are looking. They're going to see if you're going to give up. They trying to see if you're going to trust God. This that same Christian that been coming to work every day on Friday, witnessing, and then the next week they come down in the prison. He building an audience. You ought to be just as on fire when you're in a dead situation than you were when you was happy. Because he's allowing people to see your life. That's why I tell you on Facebook, whatever you say, people seeing it. One week you said putting on nice posts on there about Jesus Christ and what he can do, and thank the Lord who want to do it. Then the next week, ooh, Lord, I sure wish I had a drink. Ooh, that's too much. And then people saying, I thought they were more spiritual than that. Because you got an audience. He's building an audience. Don't be on there talking about unashamed for Jesus Christ and all that. Then the next week you posting something and where it looked like Jesus ain't coming through for you. He building an audience on purpose. He allowed you to get into where you are right now. So think about how dead your situation is. It made me think about, I wrote this down. It made me think about the faith, the fight, and the finish. And I wrote this down. The faith with the first part, it said, believe is not the end. It's for God to get some glory. So that's the faith. He said, I did this for you to believe in me. Then can you fight all your doubt and unbelief for the 4 days? Because the biggest thing ain't going to be people. The biggest thing going to be doubt and unbelief. Can you fight doubt when it comes to when God just said this ain't unto death? I'm about to get some glory out of your life. I'm causing you to go through everything you're going through right now. Can you still fight doubt and unbelief until it happens? If you can't, then you won't finish. That's still the faith, the fight, the finish. The finish is you got to go all the way through it. If you can ever master going all the way through, I'm saying 4 days, but yours could have been 4 months. It could be 4 years for all I know. But you got to be able to go through it, because the suffering of this present time won't be compared to the glory that's about to be revealed in your life. So every suffering and every sickness that has not been unto death is to bring you some glory, so that the glory of God can be manifested in your life. Look at somebody, tell them the suffering of this present time can't be compared to the glory that is about to be revealed. Will you wait on God in the dead situation? Will you trust him in this crisis? Will you camp out and give up? How many people can actually wait when it stinks? When you can't do nothing else about it. You know, when a baby normally does number 2, nobody really wants to clean them, the darlings, as much as you love them. Especially if they had diarrhea. It done went all up their back, all down their leg, all in the car seat. You got to clean all of it, of them, the clothes, and the car seat. Tell somebody that's a stinking situation. But how many of you know that you can clean it up and it ain't unto death? And once you get to wiping, you realize it wasn't as bad as it was. Wasn't as bad as it was. You looking at the initial shock of it. But if you could just get on through, won't you just start moving? Won't you just start wiping and realize that it ain't as bad as it seems? Put some powder on it. Come on, once it cleaned up. You done got in a dead situation not realizing it's not unto death. Will you tell somebody this thing is not unto death? Decree that to somebody. This thing is not unto death. Now decree it to yourself. This thing is not unto death. Are you trying to get out of a dead situation that God is trying to show up and perform a miracle? Are you trying to stop the process of a miracle by trying to get up out of it? Instead of going all the way through, God is about to perform a miracle in your life. Are you complaining about it and trying to get up out of it? Ask somebody, are you trying to stop the process of a miracle? I told you God could have healed Lazarus. He was sick. He could have healed him. Jesus Christ himself could have prevented the sickness, but he knew a miracle was about to take place. Not only was Lazarus going to get up, but everybody around was going to see the miracle that had been performed. All the mockers, all the people talking, all those that said you ain't going to be nothing, you ain't going to make it, it ain't going to happen for you. Everybody that been looking at you going through this for year after year after year. God been allowing it to take place for year after year after year until you start believing in him. The key is, come on back to me. Come on back to believing in me. That's why he threw that in there. He said, opportunity ain't but 12 hours in a day. I must work the work of him that sent me while it is day. When nighttime cometh, no man can work. Why would he throw that whole thing about light, 12 hours, in there about a passage about Lazarus being dead? Because he's telling you, make the best of this opportunity I'm about to do in your life. Make the best of this opportunity. I got 12 hours to do it for you. I got from February to February to do it for you. You going to trust me in it? I just decreed it's going to happen from February to February. You going to give up on me? Oh, I'm done. Everybody can stand. You going to give up or you going to decree this is not unto death? This sickness, this thing won't take me out. I want everybody to jump to your feet and get the thing in your mind, and we're going to decree it today. That thing